Yes, you've come to the right place. This is Galadon, and you are watching episode 67 of Clash of Clans Attacks. And today we've got another failtage-filled episode. But before we get to those replays, please do remember that these fails are not meant to ridicule or belittle anybody. They're rather to be used as a learning tool so we can avoid their mistakes. And oh yes, there will be mistakes. In this first attack replay here, we're looking at a typical go wee wee style attack, and the attacker has successfully activated the king and the queen and is going to successfully drag them out to the right here and remove them, as we've seen done many times, very effectively. The problem comes in here when the golems drop down, and as we freeze the frame, if you look where the golems are, we're running into the opposite problem of getting your golems into a bunch. They're actually too far apart, and the attack just ends up being too widespread across pretty much half of the base here. The wizards also spread out a little too widely, and I think the main problem lies in that golem at the top. If he had been deployed to the right, maybe at that mortar that you see on the right hand side there, then we would have seen a more effective clearing of these structures on the right side of the base. And here comes the next big issue. Look at that rage spell as we freeze it here. That is just an inappropriately placed rage. It's not going to do anything but accelerate those wall breakers to open a new compartment, and the king and the queen are going to avoid it like the plague. They've gone around either side of it. It's been completely wasted. The king's going down to those structures that are still standing there. Now we can see what the attacker intended to do there, but unfortunately you have to keep into consideration where those closest standing structures are. And as we count the clock down here, we end up with staring at the screen blankly, 44%, and the clock is going to run down to 0, and it's a fail. Nicely done, Judhead, nicely done. Alright, so here is a defense replay by LookTrick1979, and this is also going to be a go wee wee style attack, but you can see right away at the top of the screen there, the opposite problem of the last attack. Yes, from the 17 Tips episodes, he's got his golems in a bunch. And the resulting effect is too few compartments open rather than too many, and now we are raging golems, which we all know is another mistake. Now look at all of the wizards on the outside of the base, and remember what the wizard's artificial intelligence says. Go towards the nearest standing structure. And here that means stuff around the outside, and the units are not going to head in towards the center like the attacker intended. A few do straggle in eventually, but there's clan castle troops there. There's witches right by that wall. They're nestled in there producing skeletons like crazy, and everything that's in the inside except for the king is going to get wiped out before those clan castle troops go down. And finally, the king utilizes the jump spell. He's in closer to the town hall. Here comes the queen. But you didn't honestly think she was going to head towards the center, did you? No, of course. She's wandered off towards that Tesla way off to the left there. So the king, he's history. The queen, she's lost. We're almost to 40% damage. Now, in most cases, with an attack like this, with some well-placed last-minute troops and spells, you can save 50%. And as we can see here, that's what this attacker is going for. He's desperately trying to get those last few percentage points in. He's got a couple of troops left to deploy here. If he can just get the queen to take out that mortar first, it would leave that barracks and those gold mines unprotected around the far left side of the base, and that could be enough for 50%. But of course the queen is stuck barreling her head against a wall. Finally, when she gets through, now she's distracting the mortar. Here come a few barbarians and archers. 45%. We're going to be awfully close. 47%. This is getting closer by the second. The queen is just about down. Now the mortar's firing on the barbarians. 48%. Two structures almost down. Another mortar shell takes out that archer. And with just a couple of shots left to this gold mine, we can see how this is going to end, can't we? It was close, but no cigar. 49% and another fail. So the moral of the story is here, learn from your mistakes, or better yet, learn from others' mistakes. And don't fail to watch 17 Tips for Avoiding Epic Fails Parts 1 and 2. Also, you can see all of the tips broken out on ClashGuide.com. Please subscribe if you haven't already, leave a like or a comment below, and I will see you next time.